Welcome to the Flirting with Travel Traveler Support Group. Raise your hand if you overpack for a weekend trip. Now, imagine you're doing this for 8 weeks in Europe, in the fall, in a carry-on. This is gonna be tough. You might be asking, look, if it's gonna be that stressful, why are you forcing yourself to carry on? Because I'm cheap. And also because airline prices have gotten out of hand for bags. But really, the reason that I'm doing this is because I will be taking planes, trains, and buses, and having to roll a large piece of luggage through cobblestone streets while I'm doing all public transportation. That does not sound like my idea of fun. So here's the plan. I will be traveling from Northern Europe along kind of the eastern border. I'm doing an 8-week, 8-country trip where I'll be visiting Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. I was planning on going to Poland, but there was some flooding there, so I'm skipping over to the Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, Slovenia, and then a mini trip in Switzerland before I head back home. Now, to make this happen, I will be using Alaska Airlines, Norse Atlantic, Scandinavian Airlines, Air Baltic, and Switzerland Air. Spoiler alert, they all have different baggage allowances for carry-ons. So let's take a look and see what they are. Ooh, 22 pounds, not bad. Okay, let's look at SAS. 8 kilograms, which is about 17 pounds. 8 kilograms again. And finally, 8 kilograms. Okay, pretty consistent. Oh my gosh, I have to give you a quick caveat. I have already taken this trip, so what we're really doing today is wish casting. This is how to do it better than I did it, not just how I did it. Let's get back to it then. Okay, so this is my vacation staging zone. So whenever I know I'm doing a trip, I start pulling things out of my closet so that I can see what I want to bring and figure out what I need. Ultimately though, for 8 weeks, this is everything that I'm bringing. I am packing for traveling during a shoulder season. For this trip, I went September and October, which means that early September when I got there, you were still dealing with the last little bits of the summer weather. Just think the last heat wave of August, and by October, you were starting to see a serious cool down. So with that in mind, you need things that can go from the high 70s, which I experienced in Estonia, down to the low 30s, which I experienced in the Czech Republic. I'll be real, I'm from Vegas. I'm a wimp to cold weather. Do not expect me to be okay with cold weather. For this trip, I am doing the 5-4-3-2-1 method, and that is 5 tops, 4 bottoms, 3 pairs of shoes, 2 pieces of outerwear, 1 pajama. Here's what that looks like in practice. And finally, 1 of accessories. So 1 hat, 1 scarf, 1 belt. I'm also going to pack 1 swimsuit. So with that being said, let's get into packing. Year before last, when I went to Budapest, this is the bag that I took. Just for reference, let's take a look at the weight. Is that kilograms? Of course it is. 9.3 pounds? Shit, drop it. What we're taking away from this is that this bag is way too heavy if you are dealing with weight restrictions. This is the July lightweight bag that I will be using for this trip. Fantastic bag. At some point I'll do a review, but it's such a simple bag, I don't know if it lends itself to a review. My one note is no handle on the side, and gosh darn, I would take an extra pound on this bag to have a handle here. Maybe. Let's do a little side-by-side comparison so you can see them against each other. Automatically, you can see that the level 8 is a tiny bit taller, but where you really see the difference is in their width. Let's weigh it. 4 pounds. Okay, we've talked enough. Now I really mean it. Let's pack. My methodology when packing clothing is very close to the KonMari method, and that is I fold everything in brick-like rectangles. If you can get everything relatively the same size, it fits in your bag really nicely, plus you're able to smooth it out as you're folding, which reduces wrinkles. However, for this, I was really working on picking fabrics that would not wrinkle. This one I'm gonna put aside because this will be part of my airplane outfit. I was in the market for a lighter weight sweater and I picked this one up from Quince. This is not sponsored, bought it with my own money, specifically because I got a lot of feedback telling me that I needed lighter weight knitwear. This is the cashmere sweater, and if you're thinking, oh, it's like a cropped sweater, it's not. It's not a cropped sweater. It is wool, and wool really should be hand washed, but I machine washed my wool. And most of the trip, I was very careful about how I washed it. My last night in Slovenia, I got a little reckless, threw it in the wash, found out that I had set it on hot, and when it came out, it was quite small. So now this fits me like I'm wearing a cropped sweater. We've got all of our bottoms. Now, all of these are incredibly comfortable, but these are going to be the ones I wear on a plane. I'm trying to see if you look like you're crooked. Oh, I was like, why do you look like you're crooked? My light fell over. Get my life together. Get all my lives together. Okay, so for pants, I just do an in half and try and get it to be pretty even. I find that when I do a good job folding, I don't have too many problems with wrinkles, but in a fabric like this, you're really not gonna have a wrinkle problem anyway. We talked about the swimsuit. I'm not gonna belabor the point, but I am a fan of bringing a swimsuit on almost any trip. Maybe you're gonna run into a hot spring that you want to visit, or your hotel has a nice pool or hot tub that you want to use. It's so hard to say, and if you are like, quite frankly, a skinny mini, you could probably find a swimsuit anywhere. Honestly, I'm gonna say maybe. Swimsuits are hard. You wanna find something that you feel is flattering for you. I am a proponent of packing that. Now, controversial opinion. I do think I'm going to attempt to pack 2 pairs of pajamas. And here is why. I remote work when I am gone. I'm gone for 2 months. Look, would I love to be independently wealthy and I could just go out for 2 months and enjoy my time? Yes. But I am from the US, and if you try and take 2 months off, to them that sounds like a resignation. So, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be taking advantage of the last vestiges of my remote work time. I work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the US. What that equates to is when I'm on Estonian time, I'll be working from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. These are pretty much already folded. This is the second pair of pajamas. I'm gonna try and sneak in if weight permits. Let's make a long story short. The reason why I want to have 2 pairs of pajamas, the first half of my day, I'm working in my regular clothes. By about midnight, I take a shower as a wake me up, and then I transition into my pajamas. So if you're wearing the same pair of pajamas every day as part of your workwear, then wearing them to sleep, it would just be nice to have 2. Okay, so those are all of our clothes folded. I think we're actually ready to pack some shit. And where's my suitcase? I always laugh when I find out that I didn't reset it. And I was like, ooh, my super secure 000. Bells and whistles are quite sparse on this particular suitcase. It is 2 50-50 panels. One side, you've got your rail from where the handle is. Then the other side, you just have pure packing space. I personally do not feel like this bag lends itself very well to having packing cubes just because it's not very deep. So I am going to actually just put my clothes straight into the bag. You could almost put stuff on its side. I find that it's probably gonna be, you know what? Let's try it out. We're gonna tighten everything up a little bit and pack it on its side. So what we're doing, I'm deciding if I'm about to roll all my shit after I just folded it. Fine, fine. We're gonna roll. Here's why we're rolling. The bag is not deep enough to stack it on its side, and I had forgotten this about the bag. Don't you love getting to do things twice? It's my favorite. Whether I roll or fold, the basis is still the same. I do like thirds on my shirt and halves on my pants. Ooh, I don't know about rolling my pants. Okay, so here's what's funny. I just made a big deal about how I'm gonna roll everything, but I decided I'm not gonna roll my pants and I'm not gonna roll my sweaters, but I will roll my 2 t-shirts. Don't get crazy out here. Not us deciding to roll a t-shirt. Oh my gosh. She's a wild child. Sorry, I am losing my mind. It is so warm and I am so tired. And I did have a Red Bull, and honestly, it's not doing much. Maybe it is. Maybe it is doing much because we're talking real fast. So we're back at it. So this is the seam that has the tush, where you remember I had to fold it in. So I want to make sure that they're stacked where it's not like 2 seams against each other, because you want it to kind of even out a little bit. Okay. I don't know if all my clothes are going to fit on one side of the bag. So all the clothes did not fit on one side. And sometimes it just be like that. Sweater at the bottom. Not zipping this up yet because I have a few more items that are going to go on this side, but this looks pretty good. We still have a ton of space open. So this is the bag that these came in. We're just going to put them back in it, because right now these are brand new flip-flops that I just bought. But after being worn, I do not want used shoes in the bag floating around next to all my other stuff. That's not gonna work. Let me get a real shoe bag. And you don't have to get extra fancy with shoe bags. Have I bought a couple? Yes. But am I using like the bag that these shoes came in? And then this is a bag that I bought, I don't know, some shoes like 10 years ago. And I just loved it so much that I've used it nonstop since then for all my trips. Yes. Okay, the next thing that we have to pack. I skipped out on this in one of my last videos because I thought, TMI, people don't want to hear about my logic with packing underwear. Oh, how wrong I was. So let's go through it. So these are all the underwear that I'm going to take. My logic is always 2 thongs, 2 briefs. And I'm telling you that that is the number no matter how long the trip is. I hand wash my underwear every night. As you take a shower, you just bring in a little laundry sheet, hand wash the underwear, hang it up on the towel rack. It's dry, ready to be worn in the morning. The added weight is going to be next to nothing. Then for my bras, I only wear bras that don't have like the protective padding, because and so with that in mind, I can just fold them flat, put them at the bottom of the bag. One time I would put them in the top to sandwich them. What I realized is that it kind of bulged and it broke the underwire on one of my bras, which was devastating because they were so damn expensive, but also because, like a swimsuit, I can't just go to any store, even in the US, and find my size. So I definitely can't go out and about and find my size there. There's still a little bit of room, so I can do some shopping, provided you're not already at 17 pounds. Let's zip it up and weigh it to see if I can get some of the other stuff that I would normally put in my personal item in here. Please let me be able to put more stuff in here. Ready? And 12.6 pounds! 12.6 pounds! Yes! Oh my God, we are doing so good. Pardon my French. You know what? We're not even pardoning it. I am so excited about that. First try, guys. First try. Let's figure out what else I can get in here. I'm gonna be real with you. After getting that right on the first try, I don't even know if I know how to act, because my game plan had been to put my tech and toiletries in my personal item bag. But since I have all that space and all that weight left over, we're gonna put my toiletry bag in here. This is the Gravel Slim. So this is the smaller gravel bag. And look, I would like to say my name is Lexi and I have a problem. I keep on buying gravel toiletry bags. I now own 3 of them. I have got the Max, the Explorer Plus, and the Explorer Slim. The one thing I will say, I love gravel bags, obviously, but this one they didn't have in black when I needed to go on a trip, and this is why you get toiletry bags in black. That looks gross, and I can't wipe it off. I've tried washing it, cannot get it off. But let's go ahead and weigh this, so I can make sure that with everything in it packed out, it can go into the suitcase. Okay, 1.8 pounds. Oh, I see why it's so light. My lotion needs to be refilled. I say that like lotion's a whole other 5 pounds. Okay. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go fill up my shit because half of this is empty, which is, oh no, that's not empty. What is that? Oh, face wash. Yes. I forgot I had a whole thing of face wash. Score. Okay, what is this? Vinegar. So let's talk about all the toiletries I bring. I always put a bar soap in my Matador flat pack soap case, an African netted washcloth, great for exfoliating, a lotion. This isn't even like a week's worth of lotion, but it allows me to take a shower my first night when I arrive. Next, I've got face wash, facial toner, and I always bring a blend of oil that I use as my makeup remover, deodorant, toothpaste, and I've got a toothbrush in here, and facial moisturizer. So this is my basic toiletry setup, and all of these I can repurchase on the road without too much of a problem. And then for makeup, foundation, blush, concealer, mascara, eyebrow pencil, blush brush, a puff to use with my foundation and concealer. And last but not least, I always bring 3 lipsticks. It's not always necessarily these 3, but I will always bring a red lipstick, something that's a bit more neutral and nude, and then something in the pink family. Now, I want you to look at this current face that I have on. What I just showed you is not going to give you this face. What I've just shown you is going to give you what I actually do use when I travel. So let's get ready to pack all of this into our bag and then weigh it now that the bottles are actually full. 2 things I forgot to mention. 1, I do bring this cloth for removing my makeup, and let it never be said that I do not take your recommendations, because these are a lifesaver. These are laundry sheets. I used to travel with a little kind of packet of laundry detergent, and I got so many comments of people saying, have you considered laundry sheets? And so the trip after I tried them out, this is at least 20 laundry sheets. That means that you've got 20 days worth in just this. Okay, now seriously, let's pack. I've already got my toothbrush in here. So the only thing that ever goes in here is my toothbrush and my toothpaste. I love this dedicated waterproof pocket that I try and put my liquids that might actually leak, i.e. face wash, facial oil, and apple cider vinegar. But then I will put in my foundation, my lotion, got some space for my blush, my face cream, my face, hair ties can pop in there, and face sponge. Then up here, we've got space for our lipstick. Let's do our bar soap, deodorant, mascara, eyebrow pencil, and last lipstick. Then these items are just gonna kind of hang out outside. And last but not least, I've got medicine. I've got some Pepto-Bismol tablets, allergy pills, cold pills, some stomach things, Flonase, sinus, some Alka-Seltzer, and a bandage. It's been smashed in this bag for a while, and knock on wood, I haven't gotten sick while I've been traveling for a little bit, so it's not looking quite so hot, but we still carry it because the day I don't have this is the day I get sick. And I know you're thinking, well, you can always buy it when you get there. But when you are sick, I'm sorry, I actually have to look at you to say this. When you have gotten sick and you are on the verge of shitting yourself, there's no let me go find a pharmacy. There is only, dear God, please do I have something that can stop this right this moment so I can maintain the slightest bit of my dignity. So that's why I keep a few items on me. Like, none of this is enough for if I get super sick, but I have a starting point. I put this away, but I'm gonna need this again because I wanna just do one more weigh of it to make sure that it's not more than like 3 pounds. We're at 0. There's no way I filled up my bottles and that was only, okay, we are back at 0 and we're bringing it down. Okay, 2.1 pounds. So we are gonna add the toiletry bag to my suitcase. Tuck that back in. And we don't even have to be super precious about it. Look at how beautifully that fits. We still have room. Let's say you have had a harder time than I did. Your bag just barely made it. Here's where you can kind of, I don't want to say game the system because it sounds like unethical when I say it, but here's where you can make it work. Massage it to your benefit. And it's going to be with your personal item. So I am going to be using the North Face Borealis. I don't have a lot of stuff to put in here. So I've got my tech pouch, my scarf that I want to wear on the plane. I'm going to throw in my over-ear headphones, my DJI camera case. We have barely used half of the bag, but we're pretty much kind of done. The only other thing that I'll add in is my tripod, which my camera is currently on. That'll go inside of the bag. Then I've got a front pocket where I'm going to put in my passport and my wallet, which has really good organization. Other than my wallet, my passport, and my phone, let's get into the big thing. Is there anything that you notice that has not been packed? My coat and my jacket. That is because they simply take up too much room to put them in my suitcase. This is what I consider my, you know what? It might be one of my best tips. If you are carrying a backpack, look for a bag that has external carrying capabilities. So you've got these bungee cords on the front that can be unsnapped. We're going to loosen this up, move those, put my jacket onto the front. Move that down there so that it's on nice and secure. And we're going to pop these into place. And what I really like is that it has 2 of them, so it feels very secure. And then you can take this little bit at the bottom and tighten it up. So now you don't have to worry about your jacket falling through. Now you may have noticed I still have one more jacket, and this bag has one more amazing feature. Underneath, you have more external carrying capabilities. I think that this is supposed to be if you have something like a yoga mat that you want to carry. I am not a yogi and I'm not really a hippie enough to carry my own yoga mat. Slip it right through the bottom. Tighten it up, tighten it up. And now this was awesome. Like having both of my jackets, and they're both on there so securely that I don't have to worry about them going anywhere. And that's the real tip. You can take multiple jackets. You just need a bag that can accommodate them. And the link is in the description, just in case you're interested. And then the very last thing that we have to do, and this is the unfortunate part that's going to make it incredibly heavy. I am a remote worker. I keep on saying that because people always talk about how I don't need to carry a laptop with me, and I was like, cool. Are you gonna pay my bills? Because if you're not, better take this laptop because they do pay my bills. So this is my company issued laptop. I cannot do anything to it, modify it in any way. So then I still have to bring my personal laptop. And this is what I use for things like editing. So even though this bag meets the size requirement, it is probably a little bit heavier. But that's the trick, is that you put your densest stuff in here and your fluffiest stuff in there. So now the only thing to do is to do one final weight check of both of my bags. Good, ready, and lift. 14.6 pounds. Hell yeah. Okay. Now let's check our personal item. 15.6 pounds. Oh my gosh, my personal item is heavier than my carry-on. Goddamn. Okay, let's just take a quick second to celebrate. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. I'm excited about this. But then let's also take a second and say, there are some airlines that will weigh your carry-on and your personal item together. And in this situation, well, I was trying to find another word for it, but quite frankly, you're fucked. You are going to have to check your purse or your carry-on and then use your personal item. So if you're doing this, my recommendation is to still keep your personal item under 17 pounds. I've definitely had someone weigh my carry-on and be like, no, that's a checked bag. Then my personal item, be like, throw that on the scale too. I was like, what more do you want from me? Don't be like me. You don't want to be off to the side with your carry-on open on the floor while you're like throwing things from bag to bag. That's not the life that you want to live. Think intentionally. You guys can do this, because if you saw the struggles I went through last time, you know that this is such a win. I'm going to go have a margarita because I deserve it. Let me know what your beverage of choice is below. You guys have a fabulous day, and I will see you in Europe. Peace.